everybody, and welcome to the next match of the Zelda 1 Randomizer 2024 Winter Tournament. Tonight, we have a match between OpnoPoint and CFalcon. I am Elso, and I'm joined here by Laws Train 23.
It's great to be here tonight, Elso. We have a very fine matchup tonight. OpnoPoint and CFalcon, two seasoned veterans of the Zelda Randomizer, and both of them have qualified for the bracket stages of our tournament. So right now, these two runners, they're going to be jockeying for position, trying to get that higher seed going into brackets.
That and also the little bit of a mental boost of going 4-1 in the Swiss stage. Something momentum.
Oh, absolutely. You want to have all the momentum in the world going into the bracket rounds, but the fact that both of them have made it and they don't have to go through the play-in race is definitely have to be a relief for both of these runners. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with our Zelda Randomizer tournament for this season, we do have a first quest mixed overworld, so items like the recorder and the power bracelet are going to bear much more importance. We also have that levels 1 through 6 and levels 7 through 9 have their own category, and there are 3 different categories to choose from. You've got first quest, you've got second quest, and you've got shape. So everybody, of course, looking forward to that potential 2Q8 situation. We'll see if it happens.
This tournament has turned me from a believer in 2Q to a non-believer in 2Q.
Right. Okay, so these runners are going to be getting ready very shortly. And of course, other things that we have are hearts are in the shuffle. So you could see 3 heart containers in 1 dungeon. You also have plus or minus 2 HP for enemies. They do not apply to bosses, nor do they apply to Ganon. Also, the wood sword is going to be on the starting screen that you're going to be on. And that starting screen also is going to be randomized.
Other things to keep in mind are that important items can be in level 9. So if you're looking for a ladder, well, it might just be a 9.
That is true.
And we're going to start with one of the overworld exploration items. That could be the recorder, the power bracelet, or the raft.
Yep, and one of those 3 items also are part of the shuffle. So in addition to starting with that item, you were going to see that item in one of the 9 dungeons, or you could see it as one of the overworld items. So, yep, that could be a very beneficial item that these runners could be starting with. You just never know.
You can have both, right? Somehow it's in the dungeon and under the Armos?
No. If we're starting with the recorder could be in the overworld, or it could be in the dungeon, but it can't possibly be in both.
Well, I mean, it can't be in a dungeon that's blocked by the recorder either. That's the thing, is the starting item does not take it into account for logic.
Correct. Logic would dictate that. So, for instance, if we start with the recorder can't be behind a recorder block. That would break logic, and Fred would be in very big trouble if that were to happen.
As much as there are some folks such as myself who might think that would be interesting logically.
Oh, absolutely, it would be interesting. Absolutely, indeed. Well, here we go. We are starting, speaking of Armos, we're starting at the 10 Armos screen here, and that's where we're going to find our wood sword.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made to pick up a candle, check a couple of spots nearby, and then just reset, which we start with the power bracelet also.
Now, power bracelet does open up potential power bracelet spots. They may or may not check out, so you have to check each and every one that could apply in second quest. And we do have dark nuts in the overworld. We'll see if either of these runners can get to this Armos statue to see if this is potentially our Armos item or not.
The first thing we're going to see is OpnoPoint will be the first runner to get a bomb pack off of the dark nuts, which look like they rolled a 6.
Yeah, that's nasty because, as I mentioned, plus or minus 2 HP, and seeing orange dark nuts roll up to 6 HP, that's no bueno. Those blue dark nuts could roll up to as much as 10 or as little as 6. Let's see if the Armos item is here. It is not. So that is our hint shop, and it's 100 rupees in order to get it. Speaking of rupees, hello! This is a Laws-approved seed, 110 rupees for the large secret. I like it.
Okay, so you get your large secret, then you immediately spend it all on the hints, and then you retry away to keep the money, because the game doesn't actually keep track of if you spent money on the hints, because you can just, keep the info by writing it down.
Well, we can't purchase the hints until we have the book, because remember, every Hylian is going to say the same thing until we get that book. And look at this, a power bracelet dungeon, level 1 been found by OpnoPoint. CFalcon checking the forgotten spot, but with no bombs, can't check it. So he'll check. He's probably aiming for the Armo spots. There's 2 possible spots left. You've got one next to level 6 in Death Mountain, and then you've got the one where the blue ring shop would be.
So I think based on where this level 1 start is, this is going to be
Aha!
1 through 6.
You're looking for shapes levels 1 through 6. Very interesting. So our dream of 2Q8 is still very much alive. And we now know, as we get a nice small secret of 18 rupees, 4 small secrets, 3 mediums, 7 large. So we're seeing some good money here. We haven't seen the medium secret just yet. And we do find a heart container here in level 1. Now, because it is shapes dungeons 1 through 6, that's going to dictate first quest item distribution. So there's going to be 3 items here in level 1. 2 will be on the floor. 1 will be behind a staircase.
There's also an item on the floor on this Death Runner screen. And hello!
There it is. It is the one. That's a great item to have. It does 2 HP worth of damage. And we knew it was going to be there because that was our last Armos check. CFalcon finding some money. And hey, look at the medium secret. 37 above average secrets. There's definitely a big money seed here tonight.
I think with this kind of money, Blue Ring becomes a little bit more of an option, as do...
Look at the map here of level 1. We've got a triple segmented.
All right. We're starting off real spicy tonight. I'm going to call this a snake spitting out a little bit of venom.
I'm going to call this a very large level 1. That is 17 rooms. Definitely on the large side of a level 1 for shapes, Alsoa.
It's large for shapes. It's as large as vanilla 1Q1.
Yep, absolutely. But look at this. CFalcon has found level 3 with 2 locked doors. So he's going to pirouette one of the doors. He could pirouette both of them potentially. No, he won't be able to pirouette both of them potentially, but he does get the door on the right.
It is possible to pirouette that top door, but you have to do kind of I call it the reverse pirouette, where you go into a room that has, say, a shutter door at the top. You get that shutter door to open, and then you up A. That will open that top door.
And we do apologize. It looks like OpnoPoint's presentation is brought to you by PowerPoint tonight. We'll try to get that fixed if we possibly can. We do find that bombs are at a premium price of 55% markup to 31, but that's kind of normal in the randomizer. You tend to see 30s more often than anything else.
I mean, realistically, bombs are free if you just force everywhere, but that player's not going to get, which in some seeds is okay.
Ooh, another segmented dungeon here, Alsoa. So another nasty-looking shape here. This is 18 rooms.
This dungeon is brought to you by the letter F.
Yeah, F for failure. Oh, red bubbles. That is no bueno. And we find the bow here in level 3, our staircase item for CFalcon. Now, red bubbles are bad because they permanently take away your sword. There are 5 ways you can undo a red bubble curse. You can either find a blue bubble, grab a Triforce, drink a potion, find a fairy fountain, or just save your game.
So the wand kind of mitigates the red bubble curse quite a bit. And also, we have D and F in the same dungeon. We need another letter.
Yes.
So,
E.
You said E?
E. Why not?
All right, so level 3 is defense.
Yeah, defense. Defense. Meanwhile, OpnoPoint is here in level 6, which is the last of our shapes dungeons and arguably the biggest. Of course, it has to be the biggest because by rule, 1 through 6 have to be in order for numerical rooms. Now, there is one exception also, which I actually pointed up last year. 5 can actually be smaller than 4 because of the fact that 5 has that transport staircase.
Yes, and also bear in mind that because of how large levels 1 and 3 are, level 6 may not be that big in this seed.
True, true. We know that level 2 is going to be the same size as either level 1 or level 3 by rule. So there's our any roads. We have one that takes you to the middle, it looks like. One that takes you to the potion shop near the Deadwoods.
That's not a bad spot, honestly. I like this play from OpnoPoint, buying a key and immediately taking it into level 1.
Oh, yeah, level 1 is always tending to be a key starved dungeon. We find a door repair penalty on CFalcon's side, and it's 24 rupees. Yikes, that's no bueno.
Not the ideal amount. of rupees that you want to give over to the muggers. But, I mean, could be worse. Could be 25.
Yeah, it could be 25, and we could have a poverty seed on top of it. A CFalcon will get a small secret here near start.
We have a staircase here for OpnoPoint, and normally I would say potential staircase, but given that this is a 3-segment level 1 combined with having a stair item, I'm 95% sure that's going to be a stair.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the transport. Let's be honest. We find our magical sword one screen left of vanilla start. So we'll see if these runners come back for it. You need anywhere between 10 and 14 hearts to pick up the magical sword. And CFalcon finds level 7 at vanilla start. Now, the big question is it 1Q or 2Q?
Based on the start location, it can be 2Q. Based on this directionality, I'm going to go ahead and do my normal thing where I claim it's 2Q with like 2 rooms in.
Oh, so yeah, this does look like second quest. So level 8 is going to be 35 rooms of stairways to hell. So yeah, this is going to be fun, ladies and gentlemen. We got our wish. Now, level 9 won't be as large as it would be, you know, if it was either first quest or shapes. But oh, hello, Patrick Wayne. He is rudely greeted. CFalcon will be shown the door.
I think the best name that I've heard for level 7 and 8 in second quest is the Cinnamon Rolls of Doom.
The Cinnamon Rolls of Doom. I love it. Because it does. If you put the two together and just imagine the shapes of the dungeons be cinnamon roll color, yeah, I totally get it. I'm right there with you. I could go for some cinnamon rolls.
Credit to CD Improv for coming up for that name. Absolutely wonderful name for them.
Oh, absolutely.
The other thing about 2Q9 is that it actually has only, I think, 3 sets of transports, plus maybe a one-way. So if you're looking for items near the end of the game, going to 9 when you have a 2Q9 is actually probably better than digging almost any other dungeon that you have left.
Correct. There are far fewer staircases in 2Q9 than there would be in 1Q9 or shapes. There's the other hint shop for, looks like 129 rupees. But again, without the book, we won't be able to make any use of purchasing those hints. Now, the book does act as a translator, but of course, it still has the same hindrance for your wand that it normally would have here in the randomizer. We find Lord Banana as our floor item here in level 1. So there's still the staircase item left. I don't know if we saw it, though.
I don't think we did. Red Candle on the coast, and the thing to point out about these two hint shops is they're both pretty close to start, so going for retry strategies on these hint shops is probably going to be relatively easy to do. Opno's going to buy another key, might potentially, no, doesn't have quite the money to buy 2.
No, not quite enough money to buy 2, but if this ends up being one of those key star Cs, we may see our runners purchase multiple keys throughout.
And I don't think it's a bad idea to buy some keys going into the early game, because the thing is, the logic can absolutely expect you to buy keys.
All right, CFalcon finding a large secret, gets 110 rupees out of that. So
Yeah.
OpnoPoint, I guess, was key blocked out of the staircase item here in level 1. We'll see if it's here.
Well, it's also interesting, OpnoPoint elected to reset away from that boomerang. So it looks like they did a save scum to get their keys back to be able to go through a different door.
And it makes sense to me because even less than 10 minutes in, I think a lot of people are still going to ignore the wooden boomerang here out of level 1. Now, there's 2 different boomerangs. They both serve the same purpose as CFalcon gets his heart container here in level 1, one of the floor items. That was the one-off for OpnoPoint, so that's not going to work out for him. The 2 boomerangs, the wooden boomerang and the magical boomerang. Wooden boomerang travels about half the screen, easier to control. Magical boomerang travels throughout the entirety of the screen, but a little more difficult to control. And they do stun enemies. They can kill some enemies if they roll at 0 HP or less. For example, Octoroks that have 1 HP, you know, the red ones, if they roll down, you can kill them with a boomerang.
And something else to keep in mind about the boomerang is if you're in a scene like this where the bombs have a significant markup and they may or may not, they may be in the rare shop, being able to stun enemies to set up bomb forces has a bit more value than it might seem on the surface.
Oh, certainly, and they're very useful against dig doggers if, you know, you want to freeze a segment rather than to try to stab it and risk losing 2 hearts. So, it does have its functionalities, but a lot of people will ignore the boomerang.
Yes. I say the correct boomerang to pick up is the first one you find. The second one can kind of just sit there on the floor.
Oh, definitely. Especially if the first one ends up being the magical boomerang, because if you pick up the magical boomerang first, but okay, that staircase, isn't insignificant. That one-off actually has our compass.
Telling you that it's the lower segment with some amount of volume to it has the Triforce. We might get to see what some of these other items are over on OpnoPoint side, although CFalcon's not too far behind.
No, they're pretty much neck and neck here on the same level 1 here. The only problem is, of course, is the key situation as we find our push block staircase, the broken triple bar. This will take CFalcon to that 5-room segment. We may find our item here.
I think it's pretty likely CFalcon and OpnoPoint both have to be a little careful in that bee mushroom, though, because they don't have a ring, and OpnoPoint especially only on half heart.
Yeah, and when you have Pole's voice that do 2 hearts of damage, you have to be very careful with combat here. There's a clock drop, nice time for a drop, but maybe you wanted it a little bit later, particularly in this room.
Yeah, that actually is going to preclude any possibility of getting a clock out of these Pole's voice. They're only going to drop single.
Ooh, OpnoPoint has made it through, but can he get to the walk-through staircase here, the corridor staircase, and get this item and find out what that item is? We'll find out. There's a clock drop, but it's just a heart container. So we have 2 hearts and a wooden boomerang here, so nothing special here in this level 1.
No, but it does get you up to 5 hearts, which gets you a pretty good shot at the white sword item, which, given that it's shuffled into the rest of the pool, I don't think you necessarily hate hearts early. And also, there's a Triforce.
Yep, meanwhile, we have both the Triforce and the prize here in the same room. You tend to see that from time to time.
I believe the term for it is the Sucro.
Yes, I think you might be right about that. Both of our players pick up the Triforce at the same time. They both have the Triforce out of level 1, and neither player has the wooden boomerang. So that is the way she blows. Oh, CFalcon has not seen that second item, but once he sees that's the wooden boomerang, high probability he's just going to leave it behind. Up A, leave, move on.
Yep. Both of these runners certainly able to get bomb forces pretty much at will, as long as, the game isn't absolutely terrible, but we are going to see a candle here.
Yep, OpnoPoint has found the first bonus cave here, and we find that Mugger rooms are not very forgiving there, Elsoa. It's either pay 1 of your maximum bombs or pay 4 keys, and since they don't have the any key, neither player looks very good.
No. If anything, if you get a bomb upgrade, as soon as you get 1 bomb upgrade, I say just start paying bombs if you don't have the any key, because the difference between 8 and 9 isn't necessarily as significant as the difference between 8 and 7.
Certainly.
I would caveat that.
Oh, did you see that kinetic key by using the push block? That was incredible.
There's a couple of rooms you can do that. This room, it's definitely a good idea to do so. You can do it in the 5x2 room going to the north door, but you have to be incredibly quick on your feet with it, and I think you have to candle boost too.
Did CFalcon see that wooden boomerang, or did he just decide to grab the key and leave?
Decided to grab the key and leave. I think it makes... Honestly, I think I actually agree with this more, given that you're gambling on 1 key for 1 room. You can very easily just find another key somewhere or come back to
Certainly. Yep. By the way, OpnoPoint found his second take any cave at the white sword spot. He is now guaranteed the white sword item, whatever it is, if he can find it. 4 to 6 hearts is what you need to pick up that white sword. So at the moment, CFalcon has a 2 out of 3 chance of picking up the white sword item as CFalcon finds a transport staircase in level 6. If this is another segmented dungeon, there's going to be more sets of transport staircases.
We find the dreaded rupee boss.
And then, speaking of dreading, CFalcon's going to have to play everybody's favorite Hylian game show, Find the Bomb Hole. Or, I guess in this case, Find the Wall Masters. He's going to up A.
Yeah. Wall Masters are an interesting enemy because they make clocks bad.
Yeah, and you always seem to get a clock drop in a Wall Master room because the game knows. Because you can get trapped into a room with Wall Masters if you haven't full cleared it and you get shuttered in, which we've seen happen many times in Zelda Randomizer history.
I've certainly had it happen to me, especially.
Ooh. CFalcon finds level 5. It looks like one screen north of vanilla level 1.
Now, with level 5, this is one of those dungeons where... Ooh,
oh,
hello.
We find a raft for CFalcon. I want to see that raft be required. That's our floor item here in 6.
I think it's generally better to find the floor item first than the stair item, because then once you find the Triforce, you can
definitely.
every room.
Yeah, if you can...
Sorry, go ahead.
If you can find that floor item before the staircase items, it'll definitely expedite the process of trying to find items here in level 6 and being completed with it. Hey, the Triforce for CFalcon as well. That's going to be his second. We'll see if he decides to go back, try to find the staircase item, or if he's going to hit that Galvamatic 9000 and hope that level 6 is not required. He's going to leave. Kind of can't fault him for this decision because, level 6 is a large dungeon. You know what we've seen so far in this tournament? Level 7 has been the play as we find our map for level 5.
The other thing to keep in mind with this level 5 is levels 5 and 6. Hello!
Oh! Silver arrows is our staircase item here in level 5. A big pickup here. And by the way, this is about as small as you can see a level 5. That's only 19 rooms. I think I've seen 18 as the smallest, but that's pretty small. 19 room, level 5. A CFalcon will purchase a key. Will he purchase a second key? No.
And the other thing to note, it was behind a mugger room.
And you had to pay the toll in order to get those silver arrows. No choice. And because he doesn't have 4 keys, he had to spend one of his maximum bombs. So he only has 7 bombs maximum, which could come into play if A, we can't find a bomb upgrade, and B, if we do find it, can we afford it? This could come into play, especially in level 9.
But the other side of that coin is if CFalcon sees, okay, there's 3 rooms that are guarded by a mugger, well, if CFalcon doesn't have any key, I could very easily see saying, you know what, I'll just come back later. And you miss the silvers from that.
Definitely. As CFalcon finds his first take any, he'll pick up a candle. Which pretty much tells me that once we find the ladder, red candle's going to be out of play. At least on CFalcon's side.
Yeah, I think so. OpnoPoint's also got a candle, and the trouble is it didn't have a wand as the Armos item. I think the red candle would see some more use.
Oh, absolutely. I do think that unless OpnoPoint finds the ladder before red candle, I don't see any of these runners picking it up. CFalcon sees a bomb shop, is already at maximum capacity, will pass. 233 rupees he has. Could be close to enough to purchasing a blue ring. We haven't found a blue ring shop, though. Push.
So the thing to keep in mind here is, OpnoPoint is on the way to get their wand. Once they get that wand, the red candle is no longer, I think, even in consideration. Although
absolutely not. We do apologize for the technical difficulties here. We'll try to get the stream back up and running as soon as possible.
I think at this point it's safe to assume that OpnoPoint has gotten their wand based on the routing that they were taking. Unless they went for an early DM, but I don't necessarily think you would go for an early DM when you still have the Armos item at large.
Oh, you just never know. I've seen some crazy plays from runners in the past. I mean, anything is possible. You see runners take these exorbitant gambles here. Sometimes they pay off and sometimes they don't.
And when they don't, you feel bad. When they do, you feel good. And when it kind of like half pays out where you get one good thing and then you're like, I could have had this earlier, but it doesn't really change anything, then you just kind of sit there and shrug your shoulders. You have audio. Somebody's on the overworld still. There's a bomb wall being opened.
All right. I know we're going to be a little bit behind here for the moment here, Elsoa, because we can't see it on our end, but you can see it on your end, ladies and gentlemen. CFalcon just found level 4, a couple of screens to the east of 1Q9.
So is this like the reverse radio commentating?
Yep, pretty much. OpnoPoint just bought some bombs here where the potion shop next to 1Q6 would be. CFalcon finds a compass. All right, so OpnoPoint is now going to be finding his wand, and it took him 21 and a half minutes to find his wand there compared to how quickly CFalcon did. It was 15, 16, 17, some oddball minutes before him. How will that come into play in terms of progression? Well, we'll see.
So, really, the question, I think, is going to come down to, is the raft required, and does CFalcon check that early? Because combat advantage does matter, but only as far as you can use it.
All right, OpnoPoint just filled up at the fairy fountain here. CFalcon knows where the Triforce here is in level 4. And he'll have to find a workaround because even if you knew how to do the ladder trick, these runners don't have a ladder. And hello, Manhandler. Gonna try to use the wand to finish off Manhandler. Is OpnoPoint now in level 3? This is where the bow was.
I don't disagree with the choice to use wand to finish off a Manhandler.
Yeah, because he got enough hits and was able to store a bomb, got it without taking damage, gets the 4-pack of bombs, and finds a heart container that'll put him at 7.
Generally not a bad thing to get. Given that they're north of 6 hearts, heart containers are a little bit less exciting now because the odds of you getting enough to get Magical Sword without going out of your way to look for them is pretty low.
Oh, certainly.
But if Magical Sword decides to be 10 hearts, then well.
Oh, hi, Wizrobes. We find our friend the Wizrobes here in level 4, and we must clear this room in order to get the Triforce. We have an orange Wizrobe to deal with, which isn't the worst, but you do have to be careful because their beams do 4 hearts of damage. The only good news is that it's stationary. The only problem is this room also has Beamos, so that's never fun. CFalcon, though, is going to try to find the floor item here in level 4.
And the trouble with that orange Wizrobe with the Beamos is you want to stand in the middle of the Beamos to, cause it to not shoot you, but you kind of can't when the Wizrobe just decides to spawn and say no. Or take
exactly. See, Wizrobes aren't hard because Wizrobes are difficult. It's because they're always accompanied with nasty things, usually bubbles. Well, here, it's Beamos, which is even worse.
Although, interestingly, there is a logic to where you have an 8 blue Wizrobe room. You actually want it to be in something like a Trap and Beamos room because of the sprite limit. It will prevent the Wizards from always being able to fire.
Interesting. Now, the good news is we did see that the Wizard wasn't the dominant enemy in that particular room. It was the Super Ropes. Now, the bad news is the Super Ropes, which are normally 4 HP, they too rolled up to either 5 or 6 as OpnoPoint gets his bow out of level 3.
And not a whole lot to work with here for CFalcon at the moment. Still trying to find his way around, but 6 keys and 6 bombs feels pretty good at 24 and a half minutes.
Oh, definitely. Well, unfortunately, we've got red bubbles problems again here. I mean, that is one key. The only problem is you can't do any damage to Wizrobes unless you either have a sword or bombs.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, you just say, you know what, I'm just going to come back to the Wizard later.
Well, you know what that means. We want to see an 8 blue Wizrobe room be required. 18 room level 4, by the way.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Yep, definitely on the smaller side of a level 4.
So level 4 to me looks like some kind of a sprite.
Yep, looks like we're still having a few technical issues. We'll try to get this back up as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, it looks like we have both audio and visual. The Tektites rolled up.
Of course they rolled up. Go figure. All Tektites have 1 HP, but if they don't go down in 1 HP, you know what Tektites do. They teleport all over the place.
Yeah, they don't actually have a knockback animation, which is what caused the teleport. By the same token, if the keys roll up, then they just kind of ignore your entire existence because they don't also have a knockback animation, I think.
That is correct, because normally keys have 0 HP in the vanilla game, and Tektites, whether it's blue or orange, have 1 HP. OpnoPoint is now in the graveyard, and the 2Q block does not push. Let's see if the 1Q tombstone pushes. It does. And that, unfortunately, is a door repair penalty. That's a loss of 24. CFalcon took a death. He's back to start. He has the maximum amount of rupees, by the way, so if he does find a blue ring shop before he finds a door repair penalty, he could buy that blue ring. But we haven't seen a blue ring shop, which is starting to make me wonder if it is our rare shop tonight, Alsoa.
I would be considering a bomb upgrade over a blue ring.
Oh, there it is. Look at the price.
There we go.
231. That is the second lowest price that a blue ring could be. 230 is the lowest price. 254 is the maximum price. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, shouldn't it be 255? No, because I've never seen a 255 rupee blue ring, because I don't think it exists. I think
it does.
Prove it.
It exists.
Vids or no dids, Alsoa. I'm going to tell you that right
hold
now.
On. Let me go dig through the past like 8 tournament box real quick to find it.
If you find one, you DM it to me, because in all of the years of Zelda randomizer tournaments I've done, I've never seen a blue ring be 255 rupees. If what you're saying is true, I want to see this. Back to the race in hand. CFalcon now doing his Death Mountain exploration. He is in 1Q9s.
So with the letter in hand, you can buy hopefully like 3 potions with that money.
Yeah, because if we find a potion shop, we can find out what the price is. Of course, you can always grab a potion at one of the Take Any caves, as 1Q9 does not blow up.
And bear in mind that with red bubbles in 9, potions may be useful, if nothing else, just from the standpoint of making sure you can have a sword for Ganon.
That is correct, and it looks like 1Q8 does not burn OpnoPoint, and CFalcon have come to realize that.
So with no 1Q8, now we get to see the weird 3 clip.
Yes, indeed we do.
This tree is normally what you're supposed to do, is you're supposed to burn it, then go all the way around to go into the level, and it's level 7 in second quest. But through the advent of clipping into trees, we can just kind of skip all that. Although I would guess clipping into the tree more so would be climbing the tree.
CFalcon found a secret at 255. He'll leave it be and mark it on his tracker. So if he does need a quick cash fix, he knows where he can come back.
I mean, you could gamble your money to try to win nothing and just lose money so that you can
right. Right.
I don't think that's the best way to spend your money.
Absolutely not. All right, so CFalcon is at the fairy fountain to refill his health, and that was the one at the forest. So he'll push here. Another casino. Nope, nothing doing here. OpnoPoint knows about the red candle, so I, again, don't anticipate either one of our runners to go back for it.
No, I think at this point, we're more likely to see the red candle we picked up on a world wrap.
Exactly. Not only that, I think we're all more likely to see our runners pick up the magical sword at this point, if I'm being flat out honest. All right. So, CFalcon checking this spot. We'll see if he picks it up. Oh, you hate to see it. That is a lot. That was a lot of rupees. I think that's 86 rupees that he's left on the table, but them's the breaks, Alsoa.
Well, if it makes everyone feel any better, that's like $1.20.
Yeah, of course. By the way, neither of our trees burn. Neither one.
That tells me we probably have some stupid second quest only the Death Mountain spot that's available. Probably the Power Laser spot, knowing in this game.
OpnoPoint gets a medium secret, and CFalcon's going back to level 3 to find that floor item and get the Triforce as well.
Well,
speaking of which, there it is. If this does not drop our item, it is going to be a potential ladder block situation. So if that's the case, it can't be ladder.
If you go in the direction of the arrow, you find a ladder block.
Yeah, right?
To be curious, that is a hint in Vanilla Second Quest 4. That is your only clue that you need to walk through the wall past the Triforce to get to the raft.
Yep, and CFalcon will grab his Triforce. He will not be able to get the second item because we are ladder blocked from it.
So the triple dip at 9 possibility is still alive.
You know what I want? Ladder and 9. And, well, actually, now that I think about it, I can't think of a chain reaction that would be viable unless ladder is in some other dungeon and the recorder is in 4 or 3, I beg your pardon, and the recorder is what we need to get to level 9. That's the chain reaction I'm looking for.
See, I'm looking for the chain reaction of ladder and 9 to go back to 3 to get your recorder, to go into 9, which you can't triple dip 9 at this point, but, I mean, Dig Dogger bought Ganon would be nice.
You never know. It could happen. By the way, our potion prices are pretty comparable to vanilla. 43 for the Pepsi, 66 for the Coke. It's normally 40 and 68. So, as I said, comparable prices.
Yeah. I don't think that's... I think given the money in the seed, those are pretty good prices.
Yeah,
they're potion for 9.
They're pretty average, I'd say.
Sure, you like it when the blue potion is 60 and the red potion is like 58.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But sometimes you don't get that. Although, I guess it does depend on what sale is going on for Coke versus Pepsi.
Now, I believe the variance for the Pepsi is plus or minus 15. The variance for the Coke is plus or minus 20. So, conceivably, you could have a 55 Pepsi and a 48 Coke. I have seen both be the maximum price in the same seed before. It's crazy.
I don't know. I thought the the blue potion Pepsi variant was 20 like everything else.
Oh, look at this! Our white sword item is the red ring. A huge find for CFalcon. That's 231 rupees he will not need to spend on a blue ring. He finds it at Candle Row.
You know what that's going to be spent on?
Oh, it's going to be spent on potions and door repair penalties.
I was going to say bomb upgrades and keys.
That too.
But speaking of bomb upgrades, it will not be one in this level 7 because it is 2 It will be in level 8 instead.
That is correct. It follows that logic. So if you see regular levels, it's going to follow the logic on where your bomb upgrade is going to be. So for shapes, now because it's shapes, I do believe it could be in any of the first 6 dungeons. Is that correct?
That is not correct.
So it's in 5.
Yes. Having any amount of second quest in your seed, regardless of where it is, automatically forces off the shuffle for the bomb upgrades, the old men, and the meat blocks due to the lack of old men rooms available in the second quest dungeons. So
it's going to be 5 and 7 by default.
It will be 5 and 8 because it's 2Q8.
Oh, right, 5 and 8. Now let's say it was 1Q and shapes, then it'd be 5 and 7, or would then that apply? It could be any of the first 6.
I believe in that case it can be any of the dungeons at all. I think with 1Q and shapes there's enough old men that the flag still will work.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's second quest that is kind of your hard set on where your bomb upgrades are going to be. And I would imagine that also applies to your mugger rooms too.
Yes, with the exception of because we have additional mugger rooms on, there may be additional mugger rooms that show up in your first quest or shapes dungeons.
Correct, because I think it's only 2 in the vanilla game, but there's 3 potentially in the randomizer. Well, in any event,
it's 3 in the vanilla game, but one of them is a 2.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, so level 5 here. Remember that the silver arrows were our staircase item, and this mugger room, CFalcon, gonna have to spend one of his maximum bombs, but it is gonna be worth it because he will find his silver arrows. Now, good thing he's got that red ring because those blue land molas would normally do 2 hearts of damage. They're only gonna do a half a heart of damage, and yep, he's gonna see that toll absolutely necessary once he takes down these gels.
Yes, I believe the term for when you enter a room with a land mola on the left is left mola.
Yep, and OpnoPoint finds another Takeny Cave, and he will pick up the potion.
This makes a lot of sense to me. You've got red ring, you've got 6 hearts. You don't know where the letter is, so you don't have that. You don't know when you're going to get it. You don't know if you're going to get it. So, yeah, take the free potion.
Yep, I completely agree. And he probably does not have magical sword on his mind either. And I'm thinking white sword's a 9. Just a hunch. We find level 7. We had seen a little bit of this earlier. We know this is 2Q7.
It's everyone's favorite.
Nah, I think 2Q8's even more of a favorite because there's more rooms, more staircases, and more one-way staircases.
And a potential bow block in level 5 based on this.
Ooh, look at this. And CFalcon goes up to 12. Remember, he spent a bomb, so that was actually +5 for 87 rubies. Good purchase.
Absolutely. And now also with that, I think if the CFalcon runs into the Mugger Roots at 7, he's just going to hit a bomb.
That's kind of unfortunate for OpnoPoint because remember, he had found the silver arrows. Now, I don't know if he ever found the Triforce. I'm guessing he did not. Well, we now know where the Triforce is. It's on the foot, the bottom right foot of whatever that thing is.
I don't think OpnoPoint got the Triforce out of here. It might have been bomb blocked on the first venture through. We're seeing the red Wizrobes rolled up today. Oh, hi.
Yep, and that's a classic Y-Force situation for CFalcon. He'll pick that up. He's got 4 Triforce pieces. That was right on the top. Unless he was ready for it, he was going to hit it.
Well, considering that CFalcon up 8 as soon as he saw the compass, I think he was expecting to get that Triforce and fail on 5 second item.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, the ladder, this has the potential. I mean, you never know. But this has the potential of being a ladderless seed. I mean, what have we been ladder blocked out of other than the item in level 3?
I think we've been... The red candle.
Well, red candle's not a required item, and unless the recorder is in 4 or 3, and we have some kind of block of recorder block to get into level 9, ladder's not going to be may not be required. There's that chance. The possibility exists. Now, granted, we haven't found level 8, and we also haven't found level 9, and they could both be in Death Mountain.
But the other thing the ladder can block, because we are in a mixed first, are those second quest overrides blocked on the river.
Ooh, that would be sinister, Alsoa. I love your way of thinking.
And bonus points, we'll go ahead and just put level 2 there. Nope, never mind, level 2's here.
Nope.
Maybe we'll get Vanilla 8.
Why not?
Vanilla 8...
2Q8 in its proper spot. Why not? I like your way of thinking, Alsoa.
2Q8 in its proper spot, but with the first quest items.
Ooh, so you're thinking book and any key. That could be.
Yeah. And a floor heart.
Why not?
That would certainly suit the desires of having white sword and none.
All right, there's a key drop for CFalcon. OpnoPoint still searching here in this level 7. Again, there's a floor item and a staircase item here in level 7. And lots of staircases. Now, OpnoPoint did find the any key, which might have been the floor item. I didn't see it. Another mugger room. But luckily, we have the any key, so that acts as a free pass. No penalty there for OpnoPoint. Love to see it.
And that kills my desire for the 1Q vanilla items. And 8. Hi, Zelda's room.
Yep, and nothing there for CFalcon because that is not a drop room.
All right. Hi, Patra.
Good old Patra Wayne. But again, luckily, we've got the wand and we've got red rings, so we're only going to take a half a heart of damage as opposed to 2 full hearts. Ooh, that wand doing numbers.
Potential ladder block in 7.
Potential ladder block in 7 if the Triforce cannot be obtained. Good point, because level 7 is quite linear.
Level 2 still for CFalcon. Not much left to look at. Hi,
Ooh, white sword found for CFalcon. Remember, there are 2 floor items here in level 2 and 17 rooms, and there it is. It is the heart container, so he now has a 20% chance of picking up the magical sword. He's now looking for the Triforce.
And I think if I'm CFalcon at this point, I'm definitely considering going ladderless to 9.
Oh, certainly. I mean, the possibility right now is real unless our Triforce is in one of those bottom row 7 rooms and there is no accessibility except going through that room.
We are hearing that OpnoPoint has picked up the Triforce out of level 7, so that will not be the case here.
Okay, yep, and we do apologize that we're not able to, really get a grasp of what's happening on OpnoPoint's screen. We have unfortunately had some technical difficulties pretty much for the entirety of this race. We do apologize for that, but we do thank our people who have been watching OpnoPoint's stream because we are getting reports that it is running in ship shape as CFalcon gets his Triforce out of level 2.
So with the Tringle out of 2, question becomes, where do you go next?
Exactly. Now, the only 2 levels we haven't found yet are levels 8 and 9. Now, we haven't gotten the Triforce out of level 6 yet, so we'll see, if that ends up being a ladder block situation.
I thought CFalcon got the Triforce out of 6.
Well, he might have, but again, it's hard to say at this point because of the problems that we've had. Again, we do apologize for that. We're checking 2Q9 does that bomb? No. So neither of our level 9 spots are accessible tonight.
Well, level 9 doesn't exist, confirmed.
Right. CFalcon finds a medium secret to take him up to 67 rupees as OmniPoint continuing to do exploration now at the coast.
And that spot doesn't open either. I'm getting a little more suspicious of our 2Q ladder spots now.
Now, of course, have we checked our raft spots yet?
I believe CFalcon has at least checked the one on the lake. I don't know if it's the coast raft spot.
Now, of course, there's also the possibility the recorder is in play because, we haven't found the recorder yet, and it's starting to look like at least one of those levels is going to be a recorder block. But, yep, the ladder block of, 2Q8 spot very much is still a real possibility. OpnoPoint in level 3 is going to find that he is ladder blocked from further progression. So he'll grab his Triforce and get out.
Although I'm thinking about this a little bit, the only 2 items we don't know are the Flora Drop in 5 and the Scare item in 6.
Now, we saw on OpnoPoint's screen, and it looks like we have him back up and running for... Well, we did have him back up and running for a little bit. He does have 4 Triforce pieces.
Yep, I definitely saw the ones... it looked like OpnoPoint had the one for 5.
Yeah, if that's the case, then he has all the odds, if that's the case. So we know he's got 4. We just don't know exactly which 4 is. But OpnoPoint is going back into level 6. Now that he's got all the keys in the world and 7 bombs.
See if OpnoPoint is able to get the raft out of here and elects to dig for the second.
Yeah, correct. We had level 6 be the raft.
Yes. We have a little bit of a divergence in terms of OpnoPoint better exploration via the any key. Let's see Falcon with better combat via the white sword. It will be interesting to see which of those 2 matters more.
Absolutely. I mean, the white sword doing the 2 hearts of damage, or the 2 HP of damage, same as the wand. Yeah, it very well could, could come into play in the level 9, especially if we have a Wizrobe set. That'll be a small secret for CFalcon.
CFalcon up to a respectable 62 rupees. That's 62 silver arrows if you don't want to buy keys. Point is the raft at this point, from what we understand.
Yep, he's got the raft.
Still digging a little bit, so either no Triforce found or elected to dig post Triforce, but based off of the health value, I'm going to say no Triforce yet. Level 9 found the Deadwoods.
Yep, that's where I believe your 100 secret, or not 100, wouldn't be 100, I think it's some other secret in second quest. There is the ladder. The ladder has been found in level 6. Huge find for OpnoPoint, especially if indeed level 8 is behind the ladder spots.
Well, not even so much that. I mean, you have level 8, Triforce could be ladder blocked, Zelda could be Chevy rooms, Ganon could be in a Chevy room that you can't enter from a good side to get the kill.
Oh, certainly.
Double River Room could force you to go through an extra 30 rooms to level 9 because the game would do that.
Absolutely, it would do that. There's the compass, another big find for OpnoPoint. And he is able to bomb to the north. But he won't be able to bomb to the north here. He is blocked by what would be an old man, so he's going to have to find a workaround. But he may have found it if we can go to the room to the left. And we can. So there's the raft for OpnoPoint. He's got it.
You know, I don't think we're going to see those hint shops.
I don't think we're going to see those hint shops either, because we pretty much have everything we need, also, except the recorder. That is still the one item that is still at large, which could determine the outcome of the race, because if level 8 is recorder blocked, then the race is on. Now we want to see that chain reaction. Ladder blocked recorder to get to level 8.
But based off of what we know, the options are levels 3, I think level 5, 7, I believe we only saw one item out of, and maybe 4?
Mm-hmm. All possibilities.
So we're kind of running out of checks.
We are running out of checks. We are going to check the magical sword at 10 for CFalcon. He's got the big sword.
That's okay. That's actually far more significant, because now you have quadruple the damage of the wood sword, and CFalcon's headed back to 7.
Very interesting indeed. OpnoPoint, we found that the eastern raft spot was the dock that pays you 37 rupees.
You know, I like getting paid for going across the water, because if I have to pay to ship something into an island, I'm going to be a little bit...
Yeah, we always call that a docking fee if there's a door repair penalty behind any of the raft spots.
Buyers don't die to a silver arrow.
That's no bueno. That means they rolled up to 5 or 6. This has been kind of an anti-Walmart seat, as I like to call it. It's kind of a term I coined whenever I did CV2 randomizer and zombies in the first town rolled up to 4 HP instead of 2 HP. Because we're seeing all these enemies roll up. Well, that bomb spot does not work. But what about this one? We'll find out in a moment if the level 8's here. If it's not, then it's not ladder blocked, but it still could be recorder blocked.
Let's see, Patra Wayne and level 7 in the dark room. Now, this room cannot have a Triforce, but it could have a compass, it could have keys, it could also just, open the doors.
Or it could just have the map.
The map isn't terrible.
Yeah, you'll definitely take the map here, especially if you've forgotten what 2Q looks like. As OpnoPoint's back in level 4 now, I'm guessing that level 8 wasn't there.
I'm also going to guess that, but OpnoPoint has not been to level 4 yet, so they still have fresh exploration.
That's correct. And, we didn't get a real good look at level 4, unfortunately. There's the compass for OpnoPoint.
We have a stair here in level 7. This does have, I believe, 4 two-way transports, 1 one-way transport, and 1 item stair.
Correct. So that means you have, well, there's your mugger room, and CFalcon, you have to spend another bomb. So he's down to 11 as his maximum capacity. As OpnoPoint gets his Triforce out of level 4. He's got 6 Triforce pieces. He's got 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. Maybe that was 5. Okay. He has not found 2. Okay. He hasn't found 2.
Yeah. Because 2 was over on West Death Mountain. And OpnoPoint has not been up there yet as far as...
No. Now, we find that the arrow does not push.
OpnoPoint's now up to 250 rupees.
Yep, so, he could buy a lot of things with those 250 rupees. Again, with the red ring, doesn't have to buy a blue ring now, so that's always good. We know this is going to push for CFalcon. We'll see if this is a transport. It is. He's going to take it and hope that it takes him to the bottom row. It doesn't, though. It's a troll staircase. OpnoPoint finds his letter.
Yes. So with the letter in hand, OpnoPoint, I expect, is going to go ahead and go to West Death Mountain from here.
So CFalcon's going to take the other transport. Hope that it takes him someplace better. Hey, it takes him to the bottom row. We may not be ladder blocked from it after all, unless that doesn't bomb to the right.
Level 7, under normal circumstances, should not have any bomb walls in it.
Yep, and it's not going to have any walkthrough walls either, because I believe it's levels 1, 3, and 7 that do not have walkthrough walls.
That is correct. However, I have seen bomb walls in 7, and I have seen a bomb wall in 7 that led to a required bomb.
Yep, and It looks like we're going to have to do something here because CFalcon's going to have to take this staircase. We're still looking for the staircase item here in 7. Now, this is where we saw the ladder block on OpnoPoint's screen.
Yes. But CFalcon's going to go check to the north first. Get the any key, 3 in a stair room.
Yeah, pancakes were hungry for keys here. Well, there's no pianos, I'm afraid. Or computers, for that matter, if you're looking for those kind of keys.
All right, I'll just take a xylophone.
Why not? Red herring, that does not push for CFalcon. OpnoPoint almost at level 2.
Yep, just gotta walk in there, and there we go. And that should be knowledge of all the levels for OpnoPoint, unless they have not seen 5 yet.
There's another mugger room. There were 2 mugger rooms here in level 7.
Yep, that's pretty normal.
Yep, absolutely it is.
But given that one of them was post any key, that one was kind of, free.
Yep, free pass there for CFalcon, and there is your ladder block that, again, we saw this on OpnoPoint's screen, and the Triforce could be obtained, but not the second item. OpnoPoint gets his Triforce out of level 2 now.
The Triforce could have been in that room, but it was not.
No. You're right about that. OpnoPoint is done with level 2. Now, he does not have the white sword out of level 2.
And it looks like OpnoPoint is not going to be getting... Well, actually, OpnoPoint may jump back into 2 to look for items, but without needing really anything besides the recorder, that would be the only motivator, but OpnoPoint's still looking for level 8. So we're going to see another Death Mountain dig. I might get to see going back into 2 after we're done with all these. Hello.
Oh, so we have found another workaround. That was where the Triforce was on OpnoPoint. So that's how he got his Triforce out of 7. Now the question...
I was going to say, CFalcon's going to go look for this item here. Given that you still probably recorder blocked, also CFalcon doesn't know where the ladder is.
Oh, thank you very much, game, for putting the Triforce to the room right next door of the Triforce. What do we have here? It's a heart container. So that probably explains why OpnoPoint was done with the level 7. He probably saw this room, and that was that. So that's it for level 7 for CFalcon. So things are now getting really, really interesting. We still don't know where level 8 is, and it's looking very likely that it is recorder block. And if that recorder is a ladder block, OpnoPoint could have a chance to gain some ground here.
You know what? I'm just going to say that the recorder is in Guatemala.
By the way, we saw the map. It looks like that CFalcon has all the Triforce pieces except 8.
Yep. That doesn't surprise me too much. But the question is, where do you go when you realize it's most likely recorder blocked?
Well, CFalcon is going to check. We saw this on OpnoPoint's screen. This is going to be the dock that pays him 37 rupees.
Which is not quite what you're looking for at this stage.
No.
So with that, I think we, in the commentary booth, and likely the 2 runners, have kind of determined by process of elimination that, yeah, you're going to be looking for a recorder in one of these levels. CFalcon going to choose to go to 1 first. I think this makes a lot of sense.
For him, it makes a lot of sense, but we know that level 1 is not it because level 1 had 2 hearts and a wooden boomerang, but he has not seen everything here in this level 1. Only OpnoPoint knows about it.
Right. So both runners at this point really are just looking for the recorder. As mentioned, they both probably know, or if they don't, they have a very good idea that this is going to be a recorder blocks level 8.
Yeah, and the more I'm seeing this, I think the more and more I'm thinking these runners are going to have to dip back into 3 with ladder in tow to get the recorder that's going to take us to level 8. That's what it's looking like right now. Now, I don't know if we've seen all the possibilities, but there ain't many left. There's the wooden boomerang, and CFalcon's like, I ain't touching that thing. You get that thing away from me.
The two possibilities I can think of are the item in level 4, because we did not see that when CFalcon was in there. And the other item in level 5, because I don't know if we saw CFalcon pick that up either.
Well, CFalcon's going to go into level 6, and this is the play because he's going to get his ladder.
Yes.
Because I'll bet you anything, once he finds this ladder, he's going to hightail it back to level 3, and we're going to see if that recorder is indeed there. And if it is, he's going to be in a good spot.
Let's see. Nothing there. OpnoPoint has left level 2 with White Sword in hand, and presumably has seen the heart. Might have actually picked it up. I don't recall if they were at 7 hearts before or not.
I think they were at 6, so yeah, I do believe they picked up the heart container now, so they've got that.
Opno headed to 3.
And that makes sense because I'd say there's a very high probability, very strong probability that the recorder's here in 3. If it isn't, though, the dream of a ladderless seat is still alive, but we're never going to know because CFalcon, he is going to get this ladder out of 6.
Yeah, I don't see where you would not get this ladder if you're going to commit this deep into 6.
Agreed.
Now, the ladder I seem to recall was kind of deep.
It was. Very much so, indeed.
OpnoPoint headed to level 3 here. I'd like to take any road.
Yep, he's back into level 3 now. And again, I'd say high probability we're going to see a recorder here.
Yeah. But the question is, will we find the recorder or the transport step first?
Probably the transport. It's not going to be that easy of a dig. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, you have to dig a shape 6 to get the ladder. But, no, I agree. It's going to be the transport first.
Of course it's going to be the transport. It's going to be the very last room in level 3 that's going to have our item. Now remember, it's the 4 item that we're looking for. Remember, the bow was our staircase item here in 3. But
yes.
Still, we're going to probably hit the transport staircase before we find our floor item.
The other question, though, is how long is it going to take Falcon to find the ladder here in 6?
Well, it's going to take him quite a while, it looks like. But he is going to find this map. We never saw it on OpnoPoint's side, and
hey.
That looks like an elephant.
Yeah. That was my first thought, too. Was either an elephant or some kind of smoke machine.
$29 rooms, so a little below average, I'd say.
Yeah. Certainly not the 33 rooms that First Quest 7 is shaped for.
No. And certainly not the 40+ that you can see in Shapes level 6.
Yeah.
And he's almost full clear that level 6, too.
That's not really what you want to see if you're one of the runners trying to find your items is, oh, I'm just going to full clear the dungeon.
Now, full clearing is never fun, but sometimes that's the way Shapes goes.
Yep. Now into the trunk of the elephant.
That's not going to be it either. See, where he needs to go is that bottom left section. I seem to recall that that's where OpnoPoint was.
That sounds right to me, even though it has been a minute or many since we were last down there.
Oh, definitely.
Now, at some point, maybe we'll end up forcing the old men to read.
Maybe.
Okay,
OpnoPoint is now in level 4. Now, we didn't see what the item was for OpnoPoint.
Based on the fact that they're back in level 4, I'm gonna venture a guess that was not the recorder.
Ooh, that's very interesting. So, if that's the case, recorder could be here in 4. Here is where that ladder is going to be. It was here in the Moldorm room. Trying to get the clip here, and he does. And there is his ladder. So CFalcon again. I would imagine his next play is going to be level 3, but based on what we're seeing, it sounds like it's not going to be the right play.
Yeah, with Opno back in 4, this is a strong indicator that it will not be there, unless, recorder's in there, but Opno forgot something in 4 that they needed.
True.
But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'd have to agree here. So, yep, CFalcon is on his way back to 3.
OpnoPoint continuing to look in 4. Believe we saw. Let's see.
We might have saw one heart container.
Yeah. They're even on Triforces. I believe
I think they both have 1 through 7. I want to say they both have 1 through 7. I'm not.
They do.
Yes. Okay. So right now it's just a race to who's going to find level 8 first, and I'd have to say right now might be OpnoPoint, because CFalcon, if what we're thinking is correct, and OpnoPoint's back in 4, it's starting to look like that the recorder's not in 3. But we'll get a better idea once CFalcon does his exploration.
Yep.
Oh, this explains why we might not have seen much here in level 4. Look at this goofy room. This is why a lot of people. There's your heart container. That's your floor item, and that's it for OpnoPoint.
We already saw the stair item in 4 earlier.
It must have been. It must have also been a heart container. So 5, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's gotta be 5 at this point.
Very interesting. So what was here in 3? Power bracelet, magical boomerang, another heart. Yep, 5 must be it.
Yeah, I mean it's either 5 on the floor or there are many problems.
Oh, definitely.
They started with the power bracelet.
Yep. Well, there's a key. I'm starting to think it's going to be the last room. Look at this, another mugger room. We've seen about a zillion of them.
Oops, all muggers replaces all the old men with muggers.
Is that more than 3? It feels like it's more than 3.
That is 4.
Yeah, I thought so. That's it.
Boomerang.
That's it. It was indeed the scrap metal. So that explains why OpnoPoint went to 4. Now he's in 5. So by process of elimination, recorder's got to be in 5, and level 8's got to be a recorder block. We'll see, though. We got to find it first before we make any confirmations. Yep. But ladderless seed, I'm telling you, could have been a thing.
Where is CFalcon headed to?
No idea.
Because I don't actually remember where 4 was. I know 5 was in this general. Oh, he's going to 5.
Oh, this is where he's going to gain considerable time on OpnoPoint because he didn't have to go back to 4.
Yeah.
I mean, OpnoPoint still has the advantage.
Wait, hold on. Checking these ladder spots first.
Ah, now we know this is not where it is because OpnoPoint would have been there by now.
Yeah, but this makes sense to do.
Oh, absolutely, it makes sense. He's going to get paid. Yeah, he's going to get paid, but that's not what he was looking for. Right now, we're looking for this floor item here in 5, and we believe it's going to be the recorder. We'll know soon. There's your bomb upgrade for OpnoPoint. He's up to 12 now, so he did spend one of his bombs.
OpnoPoint spent the bomb to get to the silvers.
You're right.
Now CFalcon's back at 5.
Yep. So right now, it's a race. It is a race to who can find this floor item, which again we believe is going to be the recorder that's going to gain us access to 8.
And bear in mind, even when you find the recorder, you still have to do it
to find 8, and it could be anywhere. There's a lot of recorder spots, and it's going to come down to who routes it better and who's luckier. There's a key. Nope, that ain't it.
Let's see. Room north.
All right, about here. Well, more Wizrobes to deal with.
Gonna probably have to come.
There it is. There it is. 4 item is your recorder in 5. So, level 8 has 3 items. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
But
it just doesn't feel like it.
All of the items in level 8 are going to be not useful today.
True. Now, the only item that, because book is going to be useless now. Hints are going to be useless. So, yeah, OpnoPoint finds his recorder out of level 5. So, right now, he's in Triforce and Go mode. It's just a matter of where is this level? There's a lot of recorder spots. It could be anywhere.
CFalcon's going to pick up a little bit of time here, having a little bit of a faster 5. And the thing with book is, yes, you could get hints in 9 for things such as Ganon and Zelda, Compass, and all that, but there's only one old man in Second Quest 9.
That's right, and for all we know, he also could be a mugger. No, he couldn't be a mugger. Not in this format.
No, not the way this is set up.
Look at this. OpnoPoint finds the final bonus game. It took nothing. I'm surprised he took nothing.
I think with a potion in hand, you haven't shown the letter. It's fine to have that there to get the free potion later if you need it.
CFalcon has got his recorder out of level 5 as well. So the race to level 8 is on. Is it here in the desert? Nope, not in this spot.
Let's see. They could both enter it at about the same time if it's on this screen.
Oh, if it's here. Oh, I want it to be here. I want it to be right here. This is the setup for this. We see a staircase. Yes! They're side by side simultaneously in level 8. We got ourselves a ball game, folks.
All right, so right now the advantage is Patrick Wade.
Yes, because CFalcon has the magical sword and OpnoPoint just has the white sword. But CFalcon was having a little bit of trouble. And look at this. There's the Triforce! Immediately! Now, do they both know where level 9 is? You would think they do, and if that's the case, we've got a great thriller to finish this off. Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
I know CFalcon has seen it, and OpnoPoint is heading straight that direction.
I got to imagine he's seen it.
There is about a... Oh, wait, they're taking different paths?
Oh, he's not seen it then.
Either that or OpnoPoint may be thinking this is a faster way to get there.
Oh, that could be too. I mean, it's routing.
OpnoPoint jumped back into that cave, probably on accident.
Yep.
Wait, OpnoPoint's taking it any road.
Aha! That's it.
But there's an any road that leads nearby.
Ooh.
Oh, but wait, hold on. I don't know if OpnoPoint's seen it. Yep, OpnoPoint's got an any road.
Look at this. It's 109.08 versus 109.11. It's a 3-second difference going into level 9. And oh, shoot. Ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Here's Ganon in the Chevy room. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I guess the ladder is going to come in handy. Now we need 3. Got it. 6.
But now the magical sword is
7.
huge.
Yeah, but OpnoPoint got the stun lock, so he still has the lead on CFalcon. He's now looking for the shutter door that automatically opens unless Zelda happens to be next to a shutter door where Ganon is. Holy smokes, wow.
That's not Zelda, though.
No.
Opno's got Ganon down. Is this Zelda? Nope.
Not in a turnstile room. We got Bacon and the Triforce of Power on both sides. The race to Zelda is on. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's going to come down to who finds that lucky shutter door that's going to automatically open to find the kidnapped. Which way?
Opno with a 2-room lead.
Oh, man, this is so exciting here. Is this it? No.
Nope. I would be tempted to go to the... Oh, wait, hold on. There's a walk-through wall.
Walk-through wall. Remember, that's a thing in 2Q9. So that could...
one-way!
Woo!
Now they're forced to take different... Oh, but there's a shutter door, but that doesn't open. If that shutter door opened, that would have been fantastic.
Oh, that would have been crazy. There's the walk-through wall for OpnoPoint.
Okay, but CFalcon also finds a walk-through wall.
Oh, this is crazy here.
I got a feeling she's going to be to the right of start.
There's that walk-through wall. CFalcon sees... Nope. Wait a minute. It's just bubbles, though.
That does not have to be Zelda.
But it is! OpnoPoint wins it!
OpnoPoint coming in first place with an official time of 1:10 59.
Man, oh man, what a race between these two. CFalcon is going to be right there as well. That shutter door is going to open for him, and get your GGs out for both runners here. A photo finish here. It's going to be OpnoPoint. Let's see how close that was.
Official time for CFalcon 1:11:27.
That is a difference of 28 seconds. One of the closest races we have had so far in the tournament. Wow, what a game. Get your GGs out for both.
And we do have OpnoPoint joining us here in the commentary booth.
Well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news, OpnoPoint. The good news is you won by 28 seconds. The bad news is we were pretty much running you on PowerPoint all race, so we kind of didn't get the live point-to-point details on how you were able to solve this puzzle first. But you guys were 3 seconds apart going into level 9. That's how close it was.
Wow. Don't know what's up my connection tonight.
Well, I don't think it was your end. A lot of people were saying your connection for the most part was fine, but unfortunately we had, for much of this stream, some technical issues. But technical issues or not, you ended up being the winner by 28 scant seconds, and that is your 4th win of the Swiss rounds. How are you feeling?
Pretty nice. I knew I was already knew I was in. So 3-0, but yeah. It's pretty much just proceeding versus.
CFalcon here in the commentators booth with us, and GG to you as well. The difference between you and OpnoPoint going into level 9, you had a 3-second head start. That's it. It was a 3-second race between the two of you. And it was just OpnoPoint got a little bit luckier than you. And that was pretty much the difference, because both of you had to find the recorder to get to level 8, which was in level 5. And you both entered level 8 at the exact same time. You picked up the Triforce at the exact same time as well. It was nuts.
I mean, I'd imagine any race that finishes less than 30 seconds is probably pretty entertaining to watch at the end, I'd imagine. Yeah, last location that recorder didn't work out too well. Although, I could be wrong. The path to Zelda looked like it was ladder block, so I might not have had the ladder if I found recorder first. So that could have been sad.
Yeah, that's potentially a ladder block situation because there was nothing else ladder block, but Ganon being in a Chevy room, it very well might have been possible that the only way to get to Zelda would have been across Ganon's room being ladder blocked. So yeah, there were no known ladder blocks in this seed as far as we know, but level 9 very well might have put a kibosh to that. But my gosh, yeah, both of you ended up having level 5 being the last check. So neither one of you had the advantage or a disadvantage. It was the last check for both.
Yeah, that's what led to both of you getting into 8 at the exact same time, getting the Triforce out of 8 at the exact same time. The magical sword almost ended up being a difference maker, but what ended up really changing things was just which direction do you go when you hear the roar 9. That ended up being
that was it.
All advantage.
Yep, because CFalcon got his magical sword. It was 10 hearts, by the way.
Aww.
Yeah, I picked it. Of course, go figure. I think I picked it up right after I found the white sword, so that was great. But
yep, it was around that time.
Yeah, that's just how these seeds go sometimes, especially the mixed overworld. When I found the silvers and had bow and silvers, I think I had like 30-something checks left to find 3 dungeons, so I thought, plus, this race, I think I might have heard Opno say when I popped in about this just being kind of for seeding, so I was like, and, because we're both in brackets, I was like, I'll try gambling, see how it works out, and it didn't, but that's gonna happen with these flags sometimes. It's just the volatility of them.
Oh, certainly, man. Oh, man. I mean, you guys put up an outstanding race tonight. Congratulations. Of course, both of you were already going to be in the bracket stages. You knew that going into it, but OpnoPoint, you got the upper hand. You've got that all-important 4th win, so that's going to put you in a little bit of a higher seeding advantage over CFalcon. But the way you two race tonight, I expect both of you to make some fireworks going into brackets no matter what.
I concur.
Should be fun.
Well, GG to the both of you. Again, congratulations on an amazing race tonight. A difference of just 28 seconds. You both should be very happy with your performances tonight. All right, please make sure you give both of our runners, OpnoPoint and CFalcon, a follow. Absolute tremendous job tonight. We got a lot of races upcoming in the near future, don't we, Alsoa?
Yes, this was the day of the many races. I think we've had 10 total today. Let's see what we got coming up, though. We got to pull the schedule real quick.
Yeah, just your everyday decouple header here on SpeedGaming.
Yes. All right, so potentially going on currently, as it started at the same time we did, is Rywek versus Tilo Tilo on Z1 Randomizer 2. Having started at 9:30 and potentially still going is Potato Pony versus Bogey Smalls over on SpeedGaming 3. Started at 10 is Almighty Bobino versus Shaddy on Z1 Randomizer. Started about 10:15, about 10-20 minutes ago, was Cappy JD versus Dr. J PhD over on SpeedGaming 4. Coming up at 11 o'clock over on SpeedGaming Prime is going to be JP versus Sidetown. That is a 2-2 matchup.
Man, 2-2. Wow, that is just crazy.
Yeah. And then at 11:59, so midnight on the 28th, depending on how you want to view it, is Chaos Finale versus PDX Rex. And they both are looking for their second win to be able to get into the play-in race.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, indeed. That's going to be a very crucial matchup for both of these runners here. So, man, a lot of exciting races coming your way here on SpeedGaming as our final week of Swiss rounds wraps up for the Zelda Randomizer tournament. But for the time being, that is going to wrap up our coverage here tonight on SpeedGaming. Again, please make sure you give both of our runners, OpnoPoint and CFalcon, a follow. Tremendous race tonight. Very exciting finish. And of course, thank you very much for JLo for being our tracker behind the scenes tonight. And of course, for my commentator partner, Alsoa. As always, a pleasure working with you tonight.
And a pleasure working with you, Laws. These are always, anytime that, we get to be in the booth, it seems like the seeds just decide to be really exciting.
Oh, absolutely, indeed. So for everybody here on SpeedGaming, I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you again real soon for more exciting coverage of the Zelda Randomizer 2024 tournament. Good night, everybody.